Hey, what's in a skydiver's bag? Here's a list of the equipment you need to be a real skydiver. Hey there, it's Catherine Bernier from Skydive Vibes, sharing the passion of skydiving and helping you become a better skydiver. So if you're new here, consider subscribing not to miss our weekly videos all about skydiving. Skydiving is a sport with a lot of equipment. Some of them are really required, others are not necessary but highly recommended. That being said, I wanted to show you my own personal gear list whenever I go jump. First, the parachute. So if you're just starting out, you might not have your own parachute yet, but that's all right because most drop zones are renting them at about $30 a jump. But that being said, most often than not, they're not fitting you properly and they're not free fly friendly in some cases if it's a discipline that you want to dive into. But you have to consider that whenever you are planning to do more than 100 jumps per season, you might want to consider to check for a used equipment to have your own parachute. Next, a helmet. So unless you are a licensed skydiver, you are required to have a helmet. So there's two types. There's the open face and the full face. So the open face is usually the one you're starting with as a solo skydiver, and it also allows for better setup whenever you have a camera. So if you want to jump with a camera, those helmets are most appropriate because they have great safety release systems. I don't have it on mine yet, but you want to consider an open face helmet whenever you are considering doing some camera jumps. That being said, you'll also need some glasses to go with that helmet. So whether it's the plastic glasses that we see usually when we do a tandem, or you can have some more fancy ones. The other type is a full face helmet. Personally, that's what I jump in my fun jumps because up to now I didn't have any camera. You'll see that a lot of people do put a camera on those helmets. It's not really recommended to have a camera on those helmets because they usually don't have a proper release system. But that being said, always check with a cameraman or someone that has a lot of experience in jumping with cameras so that they can brief you on the right equipment you should have. And actually, not long ago, I did do an interview with a pro tandem cameraman, and he explained to us what you need to consider whenever you want to be safe jumping with a camera. So I'll link the video right there above or in the description. Another good thing about those helmets is that you don't get all the wind into your face and you're actually protected in case of a collision. An altimeter, whether analog or digital. So this is really required because you want to always be aware of your altitude whenever you jump. So you always want to develop that habit of looking at your altitude, and this is when you'll be able to know when it's time to leave the formation or to track away from the others and pull your parachute. So it's really important whether it's analog or digital. An Audible Altimeter. So this is not mandatory but highly recommended because you can put it in your helmet, and whenever you reach a certain altitude, you'll hear a loud sound into your ear telling you that it's time to track away, to open your parachute, and even some skydivers are using them to be more precise in their landings. A jumpsuit. So you are required to jump with a jumpsuit whenever you're doing your formation, and some of the drop zones might ask you to always wear one whenever you're renting their gear. But that being said, it's up to you after if you want to jump with it or not. It gives you better control on your fall rate and maybe help you fly whenever you have attributes just like maybe booties that will help you fly better in the sky and faster. But it's up to you if you want to have a jumpsuit. Another advantage is that it keeps you warmer whenever you are in the plane and it's getting chilly up there. Another thing against the cold is to maybe have gloves. So that's always useful. And you want to make sure that those gloves don't prevent you from grabbing your handles. Lastly, a good pair of shoes. That might sound funny, but it's actually really important because whenever you're landing, you might have a lot of forward speed and you'll have to run. So having a good pair of shoes will help in that matter. And not only that, you might have some harder landings at some points. So you also want to make sure you have a good shock absorption. That being said, we always recommend to have shoes that don't have much grip because in most cases, you'll want to slide on the ground. Most importantly, you want them to fit with your outfit and your gear. Well, that's what they say. All right, so those are the equipments that I need whenever I jump. Before leaving, let me know in the comments below what was your first piece of skydiving equipment that you bought. For me, I remember it was an old piece of jumpsuit that I bought on dropzone.com at about 60 bucks. Great, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure to watch this playlist to see more videos just like this one about skydiving gear, and consider subscribing if you don't want to miss our weekly videos all about skydiving. On that, I tell you, keep jumping and blue skies.